In this episode, we're talking about Hades, except make it King Arthur and bring all your friends. It's Sworn. This and more on Indie Game Arcade. Welcome, everyone, to Indie Game Arcade, a podcast that deep dives into the latest and greatest indie games. My name is Chris.
I'm Joseph.
I should not be surprised that you brought us this one in particular, because I know your affinity for things that are like King Arthur themed. For some reason, that's just a thing with you, and I don't get it.
I'll tell you where it started, and
okay.
You're gonna know partly. Yeah, of course.
Okay.
We covered it on our cartoon podcast many years ago. King Arthur and the Knights of Justice. For anyone who doesn't know or has never heard of it, I just had such an affinity for that show, such a love for it as a child. And really, I think I don't remember much about it aside from the fact that it was the animals being summoned out of shields and or weapons that really appealed to me. And that just has always stuck with me as like, I want to see like a game that's kind of like that has something that has some of that charm to it. And there's been a lot of really cool, and I don't know if like it's just in the zeitgeist in some way, but over the years, and I'm talking like probably the past decade or so, there's been so many like dark King Arthur games where it's like,
oh yeah, Tainted Grail
King Arthur
is yeah.
That one. There's another one that's like a TTRPG, or not a TTRPG, but a tactical RPG. That is also. Do you remember what I'm talking about?
Sword Legacy Omen.
No, that is one of them. No,
a whole nother one. Okay,
yeah, that's a whole nother one. There's one that's literally like maybe it's not King Arthur Knight's Tale. It's a different one. I just have so many King Arthur games.
Oh my gosh.
Turns out.
Yeah, apparently.
But anyway, the point is, I like that kind of dark. Camelot story. It's just really cool to me.
Big Arthur stan over here. Yeah. That's what you want.
Yeah, or anti-Arthur, because we're always fighting him.
You like when he's the bad guy. You want to.
Yeah.
Here's the thing, though. Like, so my wife kind of is somewhat there too. She went through this phase where she started rewatching Merlin, that like TV show from back in the day.
Oh, yeah.
Here's the thing. I kind of get it, because in that show, Morgana is where it's at.
Oh, man.
And forget everybody else. Like, everyone else sucks. Whatever. Oh, man.
But yes, to your point, yeah, I do like the King Arthur and just Knights of the Round Table lore.
Yeah, so let's go ahead and get into it so you can gush all about it.
Game start!
So Sworn was released into early access in February of this year, February 6th. And then the full release was just this past week, September 23rd. Developed by Windwalk Games, which is a development studio made up of veterans from like other bigger studios when they left those studios. So like people from Riot Games, Niantic, Blizzard, kind of came together and formed Windwalk. Published by Team 17, retails for $24.99. And for a quick description, Sworn is a 1 to 4 player co-op action roguelike where King Arthur and the Knights of the Round Table. I almost said the cartoon instead of King Arthur and the Knights of the Round. I almost said Knights of Justice, where King Arthur and the Knights of the Round Table have become corrupted and darkness has enveloped Avalon. Players arrive as soul-forged knights, and with the help of Merlin and the Fae, they attempt to reclaim and purify the land. So, this is your bread and butter, buddy. It's like your favorite kind of aesthetic in both like the theme and the art style too, because it's definitely got that Mike Mignola kind of art style, which we both love. And it's like the kind of game mechanics that you love too. So like they really were just playing it up for you here.
Yeah, this has been one that I've had my eye on since early access. Again, like I am patient enough to wait out early accesses, as is evident with Hades 2, which actually just came out today, the day we were recording this, and I haven't touched yet. But man, this week know that I'm going to get into that for sure.
Yeah, so you can take a guess at what our next episode's going to be about.
Yeah, so I've been trying to play as much Sworn as I could just before I really dive into Hades, because I know it's going to be, or Hades 2, because I know that's going to be a long time. I'm going to spend a lot of time with those characters. Yeah. So Sworn is very similar to Hades in the sense that, I mean, it's the same style of like action roguelike where you have that isometric view and you're actually utilizing, I don't know if they call them gods in this, but essentially you are utilizing like blessings from these gods or whatever they're called in this game to power
like
yourself
the
up.
Fae here, isn't it? Or is the
maybe it is
Fae
just
do other stuff?
There is a Fae realm. I'm not sure if these are known as Fae, but yeah, it's the same idea though as the gods from Hades, where you'll have like I don't know, like they all have like interesting names. I guess they are Fae lords or something. But anyway, they all have like interesting names that I don't remember off the top of my head. But you're like, one of them is poison based, one of them is like fire based, one of them is strength based, there's darkness, there's all sorts of different sorts of powers that you're getting. You can mix and match, of course, but it usually behooves you to try and take on like a single Fae Lord's like powers when you can find them. But there is obviously some RNG to it, so it's like you may not always get the perfect setup. So it's kind of making the most of the setup that you do get, in the same vein as any action roguelike really, or any kind of roguelike period. It's like making the most of what is available to you and just trying to optimize your run as best you can without being able to really min-max it, because RNG isn't always going to work in your favor.
Real quick too, like, you know what game because it's almost kind of like not quite cell shaded, but like I'm trying to figure out how to explain like the character design and stuff.
Yeah, I mean, it's got
maybe it is
really
a form
like
of cell shading, but
those really like dark shadows, like really stark contrast between like the shadows and the highlights of the characters. There is another game that I'm thinking of. Maybe it's the one you're thinking of.
It's reminding me of that game Tribes of Midgard, which was that one where you are playing as like the different like Viking kind of folks, and then you have to take down the huge,
fighting the big titans.
Yeah, the big Jotuns and stuff. Yeah.
That was a cool game. I could see that. There's a different game that it was reminding me of, but I can't put my finger on it. But either way, I like the art. That's appealing to me. The mechanics of this game are pretty solid. I will point out that it is like up to 4-player multiplayer. I did not play it that way, but that is where it kind of stands apart from something like Hades. I guess like one of its real selling points is if you have some friends to play with, like this will be a really fun game to do that with. I didn't play any of the early access. This is my real true first experience with it. But I'm liking a lot of what I am seeing here. I haven't beaten a run yet. I did get to Arthur, and then I got to a surprise like second form of Arthur, and that's where I died, because I was like, I wasn't ready for that. I did everything I could in the first form, thinking in desperation that was it. Then I'm like, oh no, I guess this makes sense. That was a little too easy.
So like, how long is a run then? Like, if Arthur's like end point?
Yeah, so I would say probably like you're looking at 45 minutes to an hour generally, depending on how fast you're getting through each of the stages. Yeah. Because there are 3 different sections, and these are all preset. They're randomly generated, like the actual rooms, but you're in these different sort of biomes. Like the first one is like just a basic grass one. The next one is like a oh gosh, what is it? Oh, it's like a poison swamp one. And the third one's like a water one. And so you're fighting the same, at least initially, but I haven't beaten a run yet, so I'm sure there's probably going to be more to it after I do. But initially you're fighting the same like 3, they're not, I guess they're Knights of the Round. The same 3 Knights of the Round, like zombified or demonic Knights of the Round, whatever. At the end of each of those biomes, there's a sub-boss in between. The sub-boss can change at least between 2 different ones for each section. but the main boss you're fighting at the end of each section is the same. And then after you beat the third boss, then that's when you go to the round table, and then you have to fight a few waves of enemies. And that's when, after that, then you can fight Arthur. And so, yeah, it all together, probably 45 minutes to an hour, I would say. The mechanics are really interesting here, though, because you have your light attack, your heavy attack, and your spell. And that's what the Fey Lords are affecting most of all, are those abilities. And they'll say, like, you know, has a percentage, or like will empower your light attack, will empower your heavy attack, will empower your spell to do different things. And then there's also an ultimate attack, and that's one that you have to find from one of the Fey Lords to, and basically decide, oh, I want to use this one's ultimate attack. And those are things that charge up over time as you're attacking. And those are kind of like your just your quick, like you're invincible when you're doing it, and the Fey Lord comes out and just like starts damaging everything in like a circle for a limited period of time. So it's kind of it's a desperation move and or just a room clear sort of move, depending on what Fey Lord you choose and how you decide to use it. Then there's also like I guess pets you can get that are also like through the Fey Lords. Like the Ice Lord has some kind of like ice wolf that comes with you and will just like shoot kind of weak ice attacks at the enemies, but sometimes enough to either finish them off or slow them down at least. So they're nice to have. Yeah. And but you can only with ultimates and with the pets, you can only get one per, like you can only get ones. You can't get like multiple from different Fey Lords. So just one at a time. And the same with like anything that would empower your light attack in a certain way, or your heavy or whatever. And this, like Hades is the same way too, where you're only powering it up with one attack. But then there's also all these side abilities you can get that will affect the abilities. There's a lot that chains together. And there's been some really cool builds that I've seen or experienced just playing it in the short time that I have. I've probably done like, I don't know, short of like 10 runs probably, just because I was trying to unlock the characters initially, figure out the game, and then also buy some, you know, meta progression upgrades as I got enough currency to. So there's 4 characters total. You only start with 1. They do unlock at a pretty quick rate. Each of those 4 characters has 4 different weapon choices, which will drastically change the way that those characters fight. And each of those weapons has upgrade. So there's holy, I think it's like Grail water or something. And the Grail water is what you get from beating bosses. And that is used to power up your weapons. And the way that works is like each weapon has like a certain number of slots. And that's what you use the Grail water for, is to like basically purchase that slot. And it might do something like the hilt of the sword has 2 slots, one on either side of it. And those each make it like 5%, swing 5% faster or something. And again, those are all independent weapons that only that character can use. So it's like you really have to decide how you want to distribute the currencies that you're getting. There's the main meta progression like currency that's these like pink crystals. Those are what get you things like I start a run with more health or with more money or whatever, and or do more damage, blah blah blah. And then there's this orange currency. I can't remember what it's called. Some kind of like Fey Fire sort of currency. What that does, that's how you purchase the weapons as you unlock them, because you only start with one of the 4 weapons for each character, and those unlock over time as you play with the character and level the character up. The long and short of it is there's a lot of like cool options here and good customization, especially if you find a character you really like. You can really go all in. There's either 3 or 4 spells per character also, and those are, you know, drastically different as well. So like normally when there's a game like this with a lot of different characters in it, it's like, oh, they all play kind of the same. They might play different from each other, but no matter what you get, the character is going to play kind of the same. But it literally feels like, since there's 4 weapons and 4 characters, it feels like there's 16 different characters, because they do play like way different depending on what weapon they're holding. I was able to get pretty far even on my first run. But of course, there's going to be things that are like extra challenges you can add and things like that. And there's a variety of different things you're unlocking too with this other sort of meta progression currency. I can't remember what, it's like moon crystals. And what those do is will unlock things like now there can be treasure goblins that randomly appear. Now there might be secret merchants that appear in certain stages. Things like that are just nice additions to the game as you progress through it and can help you sort of like have a better chance of surviving a run by adding various things to it. So there's a lot going on, but overall, I really enjoy the way the game plays. It feels nice. And it, even if I get my ass kicked, like it still feels like, okay, I deserve that. I wasn't being careful enough or whatever, right. Or I didn't understand what this boss is about to do. But next time I do fight Arthur, I'm going to at least be more prepared because I know now that he has at least 2 forms. He might have more for all I know. I have no idea. But I got to be at least ready for that second one.
Is there like a specific build you kind of have in mind that you want to try for the next one?
Not really. Like I just like trying all the new weapons first to see kind of what feels right. The what is it? He's like a mercenary character, and he's the first one you get, and he starts out with just his like basic one-handed sword. His next weapon is a bow. The bow was really cool, but it just felt a little weak. Even though I could keep my distance and I felt a lot safer, I just wasn't doing damage as fast as I would have liked to. His next weapon is I don't remember what. Then he has like 2 more. Like his 4th weapon is like 2 like hand chakras or something. And so again, It's going to play completely different from any of those other weapons. So I'm curious to try that one at least. I know the Rook, who's like the big tanky guy, he starts out with like a 2-handed hammer. His next weapon is like an actual cannon that he's holding in his arms.
Crap.
So it's like, I'm sure cool. That's going to play way weird. Then there's the monk who starts with a mace and then moves on to some kind of like holy staff, and then some kind of the third one I unlocked for her was some kind of like a magical book or prayer book or something maybe. And then there's this magic character this like wizard character I just unlocked. He started out with like a cool kind of orb thing, and I don't know what else he really has. So there's just a lot of different variety here to try out and just kind of see what fits well. And I'm sure there's going to be Feylords who really kind of favor certain weapons, or at least like weapon speed or whatever, and you'll benefit more from going with them. But I haven't played enough to really like know what kind of the best Feylord I should be looking for is in a run, or what would help me the most with a certain weapon yet.
Yeah, I would assume they've all got their like perks and their, because they're Fey, probably some like cons to them too. But yeah, that sounds cool. I was just looking and seeing too, it looks like at the same time that they released the full game, they also released a bunch of cosmetic packs for each character.
There's also like cosmetics you can unlock in the game just with like in-game currency too. So these are just kind of like nice to have like support things, I guess, if you want to really support this game.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking too. Because I'm like, man, that was real quick to release some DLC stuff real fast. Yeah, I think like it's just being cosmetic though. It's just kind of like, yeah, that's fine. I mean, that's
I just feel like it's a smart way to kind of further bolster just any kind of sales you might get, especially on a fresh release of a game. I'm sure there's been holding on to these cosmetic packs for a while, and that's something you're not forcing on anybody, and you're not trying to like pair it with a different DLC. It's like, oh, you have to get this skin to get all this other stuff. It's like, no, it's just cosmetic. Get it if you want to.
Yeah, and especially a game that's like been in early access for a long time. So like there's that idea that a lot of people have already purchased this game. So like a lot of the folks that are really going to be into this game, aside from folks like yourself that like wait until the 1.0s, have already been playing it for a while. So it's like, okay, well, like what are we going to have for our diehards?
To add a little bit more variety.
Yeah, once the 1.0 comes out. So yeah, I think that's cool. It is kind of a bummer though if they do have to like, pay full price for it, but it looks like they're all the cosmetic packs are on sale.
It looks like you can get all 4 of them if that's all that there are for like $10.
$9.99. Yeah.
Not too bad, but it's like I guess if you're going to play with your friends a lot and stuff, like that's where cosmetic packs might be kind of cool. And it's not just for yourself, you know?
Yeah, totally. And they do have this, like, all of them bundled with like a deluxe version. Another one that comes like bundled with the art book, and another one that comes bundled with all of those things plus the soundtrack. So like if you're one of those collectors, then they've got like deals for you. Like everything's on sale right now. They've also got some cool bundles with some other games. They have one with Brotato, which is a really, really good pairing. I know that's one you like. And there's another one with Goblin Cleanup, which is one of the games I was talking about
that's one with the Goblin waifus, right?
With the waifus, yeah.
Yeah.
But you gotta try not to get eaten by the mimic when you're trying to clean up all the viscera.
That's fun.
And I may have played it a little bit more and gotten eaten a couple more times. So I'm like Frieren. If anyone's watched that anime where like any time she sees a treasure chest, she has to try to open it, and it always ends up being a mimic, and she gets chomped on every time. That is me in this game. I am always getting chomped on by this damn mimic. So
that's awesome.
Can't help it.
Man, Team 17's just been hitting on all cylinders. Because they were also the ones who released Date Everything, or at least published it. Yeah,
they put out a ton of great games every single year. They've put out some of my favorites of all time, like Dredge is one of my all-time favorites, which they put out. Which one of these days I'm going to get you to play it.
Dang.
So
yeah, I know. I need to play that one. That one I just haven't yet. For no real reason.
You'll like that. Killer Frequency, Ship of Fools. Those are all games I really like. So yeah, they're a pretty good publisher. They know what they're doing.
Power up!
Hey, if you're enjoying this episode so far, do us a favor and throw us a like, a follow, share the episode or the podcast with folks who love indie games so we can get more of these game recommendations out there and support indie game devs. We also have a YouTube channel at youtube.com/nerdsloth where you can catch us playing more indie games, or check out our top 5 and top 10 series for even more indie game recommendations, because we believe there's an indie game out there for everyone. I'm still doing the salute. I don't know why I'm doing that.
Combo!
Let's talk about some other indie games we've been playing this week. I played this game called Consume Me, which I was very excited about, and I'll tell you why. So Consume Me is a dark comedy game that's part visual novel, part WarioWare inspired, in that it's mostly comprised of lots of tiny bite-sized mini games. And it's about a teenage girl named Ginny in her final year of high school with an overbearing mother, anxiety, social pressures, her first crush. She's got schoolwork, chores, and she has a very bad case of fat phobia and food disorders. It is actually somewhat of an autobiography of one of the developers, which is Jenny Shia, who goes by Q-Dork online, if folks are familiar with her. And it actually won this year's Seamus McNally Grand Prize at the Independent Games Festival. It beat out games like Balatro, Blueprints, UFO 50, Nine Souls, tons more. So like this is a game that has a lot of substance to it. I feel like people that haven't seen this game yet are going to be very surprised when they learn that. So it uses all those mini games that I was kind of talking about to essentially gamify every aspect of this girl's life, who thinks that the only way she could win the affection of her crush is to lose weight, which leads to this extremely unhealthy relationship with food, where she is incentivized to both lose weight the wrong way and also give in to her cravings and then feel punished for all of it. So it's really this like look at mental health and all of the pitfalls and stuff like that, especially that like teenagers can fall into, and you know, non-teenagers as well, all those other non-teenage folk. Hey, fellow kids. It's also part RPG. So Jenny's leveling up a multitude of different skills through all these mini games that you can choose to do, because like you have the choice depending on how you want to spend the time. She only has so much time in her day though. So it's like you can't do everything. You can't level up every skill. So whatever you do choose to do and level up, the success of each minigame will affect how quickly she levels up those skills. And what she has leveled up towards the end of the game could lead to one of several different endings. So as dark as like the overall kind of theme can sort of sound, in that you're really dealing with a person that develops like this eating disorder and this kind of like body dysmorphia and this anxiety and stuff centered around it, it's actually an extremely funny game. It's got lots of absurd visuals, super colorful art, and really hilarious moments. There are some like moments in here of like things like Jenny looking in the mirror at herself like after waking up or something and just looks just god awful that I'm expecting to see like these show up in like memes and comment sections and things. Like it's just that kind of hilarious. I 100% understand why it has won the prestige it has, because one, it's a beautiful piece of art. It has fantastic gameplay, and it uses all of those things along with its humor to deliver this very super relatable and important message within this slice of life and coming of age kind of story. And I think that this is honestly going to be a game that we're going to see inspire a ton of other indie devs in the future.
This is definitely how you interest someone like me in a game like this, is not making it like purely I don't know, like a walking sim or something like that. Instead, it is gamified in a really interesting, like you said, WarioWare-esque way with all these like funny mini games.
Yeah.
And like, that's what would keep me interested in something like this. Not to say that like the story alone isn't worth it. It's just when I'm playing a game, I'm doing it more for the gameplay and story is secondary to me. So this is a way to keep me interested in something like this and also to get that message across while keeping me entertained.
Yeah, it is genius at that. Like some of the funny stuff, if you even like go to their Steam page too, you'll see some photos and stuff of some of my favorite of the little mini games. Like one of the ones is like, because she's supposed to be really awkward. She's this really awkward, just goofy kid, and she doesn't know how to like exercise or anything. So she tries yoga and tries like cardio and stuff. And so like the mini game for that is you will see like a little slot for a head and hands in different positions on the screen. And in this, like her arms and her neck get real stretchy, and you have to like quickly with these goofy physics controls try to like match the position of those as many times as you can within so many seconds to like level up her like athleticism there. And it just looks hilarious. Like it looks like a WarioWare kind of deal. There's also like a little food Tetris kind of thing that you get on her plate where like you get these like food in these weird shapes. And there's like all of these little squares that you have to like cover that with. And if you don't cover all the ones that indicate like a piece of hunger, then she's not going to be completely full and she's going to be more apt to crave something later and go sneak something from the fridge later. And basically, feed into that cycle of, she's in an unhealthy relationship with food. So like it like we talked about, it is gamifying these aspects of like an actual struggle, actual mental health issues and actual like physical issues, but in this really fun, quirky way. And I think it's genius for doing that. Yeah,
that like normally when you bring something like this, I'm like, well, I appreciate it, but I don't know that I play it. This one, I think I could definitely do both for.
Yeah, it was, like I said, developed by Jenny Shia, AP Thompson, a few others, published by Hexecutable, which is a great name for a publishing company. I love that. Retails for $14.99, currently on sale right now, 10% off. So not a huge price point either. But because it does deal with some like, some disorders and mental health stuff, I would just kind of, caution people, like if that is a topic that you are really sensitive to, maybe it's not the game for you. But I think for everybody else, there's like a real message here to take in and check out.
Yeah, I'm into it. This looks great.
So what about you? What else have you been playing?
Oh, man. So I've played a lot of games that we've been talking about. So I'll just list them and talk briefly about my experience. So, okay, so Hollow Knight update, Silksong update rather. I beat that finally.
Hey.
And then I've gone back and beaten some of the bosses that I hadn't before and just unlocked some different areas. There's still way more that I have not experienced yet. And I know that would take it wouldn't take me starting the game over. There's just so much more in the current game that I still have to discover, even though I felt like I scrubbed the levels pretty thoroughly. There were still things it's like, oh, I had no idea that was there. It's like, oh, that's what that thing was for. I forgot I even picked that key or whatever up. And so it's kind of just like going back and playing cleanup. But even as I'm doing that, I'm discovering new things that are unlocking whole areas I didn't know existed. So I'm done with I finished the game proper, but there's still so much more for me to discover. So I'm sure I'll be jumping in and out of it as I go through. I've continued to play Shape of Dreams, which I spoke about last time.
I've been seeing you every time I get on Discord, I feel like I see you in Shape of Dreams, like every time I'm on.
I think it's like the timing of it, because I've been jumping around through so many different games, and this I will play like a run of and then jump to the next thing. So I think you're just like coming in during my Shape of Dream run.
As soon as you open Shape of Dreams, like something kicks on in my brain. I'm like, oh, I need to open my Discord. I haven't been in.
Exactly. But I'm still having a lot of fun with that one. It is still like a good challenge, but also as I explored, I'm discovering new things still, which are like, oh, this is a cool like secret area I just unlocked, and now it's a thing I've never done before or seen before. So one that has a lot of layers to it that I am still diving into. They're Wonder Stars that you talked about last week. I started playing that. I got through the first, I don't even think I have finished the first area of it or chapter of it or whatever it's called, episode maybe. But I'm really enjoying the mechanics of it, like the whole utilizing words and combo of those words in a very anime fashion to take out your enemies or spare them to get benefits from that. Like that's a really cool, or just the mechanics of it are really cool combat wise, very unique. And also really makes me think about like how I want to use these words, or like what words should I use right now? And you can only have a limited or carry a limited amount into each battle, which I did not realize. So it's like, oh man, okay, should I take wide or should I take fast? And it's like these things are things that I didn't think I would need to put so much thought into, but there is like a good amount of like strategy to the choices you're making, and not even just to like maximize the damage you're doing, because there is a benefit also to sparing your enemy and getting them to like, I think like around 20% of their health or something.
Got to get that pep up.
Yeah. After which point they will like just kneel down. And then if you spare them and just like peace out and walk away, you'll get a like a power up thing or a pep up that you can equip. And then that has some other benefits to it. So just a really cool RPG. It is, I think, like you were saying, it's not a roguelike, even though like it looks like one. Maybe it has like roguelite elements to it, but it is like a straight through RPG.
Yeah, I was just thinking, borrows some elements. That's it.
Yeah, because as I was going through the level or looking at the levels, it's like, oh, they look like kind of a board game, and there's like different paths you can take, but you can just walk back and take all of the or pick all the little squares anyway. You don't have to like just commit to one. The only thing you're committing to is like how you are exiting a level, which generally is just like whatever kind of power up you want to get as you exit the level or area.
Yeah, exactly. It's like whichever, like, because you'll go to one and then it'll give you like maybe 3 different options to exit that level. And it's like, yeah, do you want to exit with more HP? Do you want to exit with like a stronger attack or a skill power? Like, so in that way, it's like you are only able to choose like one of those things and modify your character that specific way, because you can't do it all. But yeah, that's basically it as far as like those kind of elements go.
Yeah, because it's not like those different paths take you to different story paths, at least not yet to my knowledge. It's just the choices, and they're all leading to the same thing. But I do still like the layout of it and the way that you are kind of jumping around, because you do get to choose sort of how you want to do something. Like if you are super beat up after a certain battle, then you don't have to take the next one right away. You can kind of walk around and try to find some health or something in between. So yeah, I've enjoyed I haven't spent too much time in there, but I've enjoyed the time that I have spent. And last one I'll talk about today is MegaBonk, which I have continued playing.
Hells yeah.
Really fun. Another, action roguelike, but this one is like it's ridiculous in like the best way. It's essentially like 3D Vampire Survivors or God, what is the game? Risk of Rain 2. Yes, thank you. It's got that sort of like visuals. Well, only in the sense that it's a 3D action roguelike, but also in the way that power-ups kind of like are leveled up and you can kind of stack things like that. Like I can get like, let me just like prioritize my attack speed or something, or like the size of my attacks. Like I had one run where I was this ogre dude and the axes I was throwing out, even though they're just like little hand hatchets or whatever, hand axes, like they were so big because I was just like powering up the size of them that I just needed like 3 of them and I was like wiping everything out in front of me. So it's just like a ridiculous amount of fun. It is actually like has a decent challenge level to it also as you get further into it. But it's one of those like goofy looking games with a deceptively challenging, goofy looking game that I'm going to keep coming back to just because it is just fun to do these runs is like any of the weird characters that I have available. And I haven't even unlocked like a ton of them yet. But I did just unlock the monkey with sunglasses, so hey.
Oh, Monk. Yeah, I want to see how that runs on Steam Deck. I'd be interested to see if that can handle it or not.
It is verified on Steam Deck.
Yeah.
I haven't, I don't even have a Steam Deck anymore, but yeah, I don't know. So hopefully good, because it definitely would be a fun one to take like anywhere just to sit on the couch and play.
Yeah, there's always a difference between like them saying Steam Deck verified and does it run? like is it mapped for Steam Deck? Yes. If you run it on Steam Deck, well, your Steam Deck becomes so hot you have to wear gloves to play. Yeah.
Are you running it at like 5 frames per second? Like
yes.
It runs on there, but does it run well?
It has to be plugged in at all times.
Yeah, they should list like the frame rate you can expect on a Steam Deck.
Another reason why I like so many cozy games and deck builders is because like those are the cozy and the deck builders are usually the ones that I don't have to have my Steam Deck plugged in at all times to be able to run. It's like everything else, if that thing isn't plugged in, it's dead in like, 40 to 60 minutes if I want to run anything like 3D.
Man, okay. So when I did have a Steam Deck, just a real quick story related to that, I tried to play, this is before Baldur's Gate 3 came out, so I tried to play Divinity Original Sin 2 on it.
Oh no.
Man, it did not like that. It ran, but it ran for like maybe an hour, and then it was like, nope, battery's gone. Because I was on the road, I was doing something, and like a passenger, obviously, and I thought like, well, I'm gonna be driving for a few hours. Let me just like play this game I've been into, and I wasn't able to play it for very long. Yeah. So
I played I played all of Baldur's Gate 3 on the Steam Deck, like my entire first run, but it had to be plugged in at all times. There was no way.
Yeah. So benefits to it for sure, but not the best for every game.
No, it did handle Dredge okay, though, honestly. That one did pretty good.
I can see that, yeah.
I'll give him kudos for that one.
Final round!
Let's talk about some upcoming indie games we're excited about. I'm just going to bring you one today, and this one is very, very apt, and you're going to be very happy about it. This is called Dicealot, and this is slated to release on October 14th, so coming up in about a month. The reason why I think you're going to like this is it is a King Arthur and Camelot inspired roguelike dice builder that plays already wishlisted. I didn't even tell you what it was yet. Plays somewhat like the board game Farkle. I've never played Farkle, so I can't tell you what that means. But what I do know is you earn magical quest die to complete your quests. I just love the artwork for it. It just seemed really interesting to me, and I want to see how it plays. I had seen a lot of coverage of this from previous events like Steam Next Fest and stuff. It looked good. I was like, Joseph likes King Arthur stuff. I'm going to bring your attention to it. And yeah, I love the card design or the character design stuff in here and everything. It almost kind of reminds me of like medieval like tarot card kind of art, and I really like that because I love tarot cards. So yeah, I'm digging it for sure.
This looks like one of those games that looks like visually very simple, but I bet it's one of those that's so mechanically fun that I could sink hours into it and not even know that I've lost a whole day. It's like, oh man, I've been playing like King Arthur Farkle for 12 hours.
King Farkle. At the very bottom of their Steam page, they list their inspirations. Balatro, Monster Train, Slay the Spire, Inscription, and Dicey Dungeons. They're saying fans of all of those things will feel at home. We have played all of those. We love all of those. So I think we're good. I think this is going to be one for us.
We are the audience for this one.
Exactly. Sure. They made it for us. Especially you.
Yeah. I already wish. I think it was already on my wish list, actually. When I went over to the page, I was like, oh, yeah, that game.
Like, I already did this. Yeah. Do you feel seen now? Like, with all this King Arthur stuff, do you feel seen? I do. As a person?
Just something. I thought this year was going to be like Year the Ninja, but I think it's just Year King Arthur. No, change. Year Camelot.
The Joseph games. Yeah.
Yeah. Did we talk about Isopod at all?
No, we haven't talked about it on here, but in private, you have told me, you've mentioned it to me before, but we've never talked about it.
Okay, yeah, that's what it was then. So then I'm just going to talk about Isopod real quick. So Isopod is by I believe the people who created Webbed.
Oh, okay. Makes sense. They like bugs.
Yeah. Yes, it's true. So it's like S-Bug Games or S-Bug Games.
Yeah, I'm looking
it's one word.
Right now.
I don't know how to how they want it pronounced. S-Bug Games. S-Bug. And you are a tiny roly-poly, a pill bug. And that you're literally, it's just a 3D platformer where you're an actual pill bug, not like an anthropomorphic one. You're like a little dude crawling around, a little pill bug, but you are not just crawling around normally. Like, you're bouncing off of things. You are like catapulting off things. You're exploring a world that obviously you are very tiny in, but there's a lot of like bigger things going on. And it just looks like a really fun 3D platforming game, especially one that is taking place at that scale against all these things that you wouldn't even consider as like a huge threat. Like, I see him like in the water, like against like
that big fish,
a fish coming after him. That thing looks monstrous. I'm sure there's going to be, like, for anyone who's an arachnophobe, I'm sure there's going to be a ton of big spiders. Hopefully they'll have a thing to turn them into, I don't know, clowns or something. Well, maybe not clowns. I mean, that's a bad thing to turn them into.
No, you can't turn one major fear into just another major fear. And let me tell you something, Joseph, I don't have a fear of clowns, but if you put a clown underwater with his jaw unhinged, that's going to make me afraid of clowns.
You mean an 8-legged clown would scare you? Come on.
Yeah,
that'd be fun.
Yeah.
I mean,
that's terrifying.
I guess Pennywise already did it. But no, like this one just looks like a really like fun. It just looks like a good time for anyone who likes 3D platformers. It's coming out on October 21st, so towards the end of October, but that's not too far away from now. Like, time is passing so quickly. Less than a month. That's insane.
I know. Don't you feel like September literally just started?
September has been not a great month for me, but luckily it's passing by fast. I just needed to get to October quickly.
Let it be spooky season already so we can just drench ourselves in the pumpkin and the Halloween decorations and all those things. That's all I need. That's all I need to be happy.
Just all the horror movies.
I've been doing that anyway. That's all I've done like for weeks is just watch horror movies. Yeah.
And apparently cute pill bugs. Cute
and
little
and pill bugs.
Roly-polies.
Tasty. I don't know. I don't know if they're tasty. Hopefully.
Game over.
Hey, if you had a good time listening to this episode, stick around for the bumper to learn how you can help support the show and all of the things we do here at Nerd Sloth Creative. You can also check the show notes for our link tree, which will take you to our social media, Discord, merch store, and tons of other cool things. But I would love if you could get in touch with us and let us know what indie games you are playing and help us elevate these games so we can help support the indie devs spending all their time on it. I don't know. I thought I was going to come up with something cooler to say, but I don't. I didn't have nothing. That's game over for us. My name's Chris.
I'm Joseph.
And we'll continue on the next episode.
Continue.
Indie Game Arcade is recorded and produced by Nerd Sloth Creative. If you're looking for more gaming content, head over to youtube.com/nerdsloth for indie game Let's Plays and recommendations. If you'd like to support the show, head over to patreon.com/nerdsloth, where you can select a pledge and receive access to hundreds of hours of bonus content from everything at Nerdsloth Creative. If you're an indie game developer and would like us to review your game or explore other opportunities, send an email to nerdslothcreative@gmail.com with the subject line Indie Game Arcade. Thanks for listening, and keep supporting indie game devs.